What inspired me to start Holdsworth Recruitment and how did it all begin? So I was 25, I'd been working in recruitment for around 3 years, well actually just over 3 years, about 3.5 years, and I was working for another independent agency in Leeds. I just got to a point in my career really where I sort of thought, what's next? What am I going to do next? And I was just I couldn't really work out where I wanted to go, who I wanted to work for. I knew a couple of people who had set up their own recruitment companies, and I did find that quite inspiring. So I just got the idea in my head one day and thought, why don't I just set up and do this on my own? Thinking back, I was very naive, but I think it was a bit like a kind of itch that I had to scratch. So I started putting the wheels in motion, started the prep work of setting up on my own. I got my sort of first serviced office, tiny little office. Started off on my own, apart from my mum, who kindly came to work for me and did my sort of sales, purchase ledger, admin type stuff. And that was it, off I went. So January 2005, I set up. And that first year was tough, really tough. There was a lot of lows, and I do feel for my poor mother who had to work in this very confined space with me during that first year. But really after that, I did sort of my first year, it got to a point where I had a certain amount of clients that I couldn't sort of handle on my own, so organically needed to grow. Took on my first person, a lady called Sarah. 6 months later, took on my next person, and it went from there really. And we had a good few years. Got to 2008 and the credit crunch hit, which was pretty horrendous. That kind of really went through to about 2012, I would say. That was a really tough time, really hard. I mean, we managed to stay marginally profitable during that time, just about, but it was hard. And then I think the turning point in my mind from there was Davina, who's now a director at Holdsworth Recruitment, came to work for me. She'd only ever worked in a market downturn, and she was very enthusiastic. She was a great business developer, great relationship builder, still is. And from there, we just managed to start growing again steadily and got back up to sort of headcount over the years. And I would say that in a nutshell is kind of like where it all started. So what was the most challenging aspect of setting up my own agency? I would say apart from the credit crunch, it would have been my lack of experience. Looking back, I was quite naive. I didn't have an experience of running a business before. I think I found the most challenging parts probably to be the people management side. I hadn't managed people before, so as I sort of organically sort of grew, of course I needed to hire people, and then at the same time I needed to learn how to manage people. That was the hardest part of the job, I would say, for the first few years. But I would say now, I find that side of the job, like most of the time, quite enjoyable. So I would say that was probably the most challenging part of setting up my own agency. So what's the biggest lesson recruitment has taught me about being a good leader? I would say it is about having the right people around you. In the early years, I did try to do everything myself, I suppose out of necessity really, but sort of managing staff, training staff, bringing on clients, client managing, running a desk, trying to run the business, strategy, there was just a lot going on. Where over the years, I've got to a point where it's sort of been really effective having the right leadership team in place. For example, Becky, who's our operations director, Becky is very good with data, she's very good at implementation, she's very thorough, great eye for detail. Sometimes I can come up with ideas, but the sort of follow-through side Becky is great at. So I feel me and Becky work great together. I can kind of work on strategy and people, and Becky can work alongside me, and it just works great. Really good partnership. So I would say in terms of what I've learned over the years, it's definitely been about getting that leadership team right. So since launching JHR, how have I seen the recruitment industry evolve? Massive change since I set up 20 years ago. To give you an idea, when I first set up, the first thing I did to attract candidates was put an advert in the Yorkshire Evening Post. So I used to come out once a week and I used to put your ads in there and then basically wait for the phone to ring. So that was how it used to be in terms of attracting candidates. The other thing was the Yellow Pages. People used to use the Yellow Pages. So you would wait till the Yellow Pages came out, get your ad in the Yellow Pages, go and get a copy and excitedly look at your ad in the Yellow Pages. And again, that's how people tended to find us. There was obviously no advertising online at that point, so that's been a massive change. The other sort of big thing I would say is probably being post-COVID, changes around, we don't interview in person as much anymore, a lot of it is more virtual, and changes to working patterns as well, of course, such as hybrid working. So I'd say over the years, technology, and then I think the biggest other change I would say is probably being post-COVID. So when I look at the JHR team today and I reflect back, what do I feel sort of most proud about and what do I feel like we've achieved over the last 20 years? I would say for me, it's been people. So people who have worked at Joe Holdsworth Recruitment, past, present and hopefully future. People who've contributed to our success over the years, people who are still with us now as part of the team, people who have moved on to do other things. It's been great to see people develop within other areas, made some great friends along the way. So I would say that really stands out for me. And the other thing I would say is how we have diversified over the years in terms of our offerings. So to start with, we offered just perm recruitment. I used to do a bit of volume as well, so contact centre type stuff. Andrea joined us around 8 years ago, and that's when we properly launched temp. We'd done a little bit of temp before, but Andrea came with a lot of industry experience, 30 years to be specific at the time, all Leeds-based temp, and really did step up our temp division to what it is today. And lastly, exec would be the other division that our newest division that we set up around 4 years ago, which was set up by Becky and Davina. So I'm proud of the fact that we've managed to diversify over the years and just keep up with that kind of ever-changing side of recruitment. So if someone was starting out in recruitment, what advice would I offer them? Apart from saying don't do it, I would say it is hard. It's hard working in recruitment. It is a tough industry. It's competitive. So I would say you need to be very resilient, you need to work really hard, and you need to be consistent. And I think it's really just caring as well about relationships. I think if you're just in it to kind of make money, it's just not that industry. Maybe it was years ago, but now I feel recruitment is about relationship building, it's about customer service, it is about sales, and it's about developing really, really meaningful long-term relationships with both clients and candidates. What do I think Joe Holdsworth Recruitment is known for in the West Yorkshire market? I would say our quality approach. I would say being an independent agency, I think that really does shine through in how we work. We will always visit clients face to face and go on site. We'll offer advice where we can in terms of helping to build strategy, helping to shape roles. We will always work with clients to ensure we achieve the end result. We'll work alongside clients until we do manage to get that placement. So I would say quality, we have got a strong reputation as being an independent, and I do think that really does stand out in our approach. I would like to think that we have built a strong reputation over the last 20 years. I think that reputation has been built mainly on the fact that we are very quality driven. We all care as a team, we all work together to ensure that our clients get the end result and the right person. It's really important to us that we place people who are going to stay long term. We do track our retention to ensure that where we can, we're going to place people who are going to be somebody who's going to add value to our clients in the long term. So I feel like over the last 20 years we have built a strong reputation as being independent, quality driven, local and genuinely caring about what we do. In terms of sharing a lasting relationship with clients or candidates over the years, what really stands out for me is the first clients I placed with 20 years ago, we do still work with today. They are a global law firm with offices in Leeds, and over the last 20 years we've placed a number of staff with them in all different areas within the business. So that would be from sort of administration, graduate level positions, a mix of sort of temp and perm, right up to senior hires. And it's been great over the years to see some of the candidates we placed in junior roles become very, very senior within the organisation, and some people move on to set up their own businesses. So that really stands out to me as being a lasting relationship that we've built from 20 years right up to today.